Howdy, welcome back to Chaos to Control Time-Saving Strategies to Maximize Your Day. Today, we're going to be talking about how to minimize distractions while at work. I know I am 100% personally guilty of trying to multitask, probably to a fault, and sometimes multitasking or being easily distracted when a lot of other things are going on in the office or at home can make projects take much longer than they would if we could just focus, which I know is much easier said than done. So I wanted to share a few tips and techniques that might help you stay focused in on the task at hand. So tip number one is to, whenever possible, work in a designated workspace versus a common area like a kitchen or a living room, which I am currently doing right now, but luckily no one else is at home to distract me. Although you could say that my dishes over there are a little bit distracting, but you got to go where the good Wi Fi and lighting is, right? But whenever possible, if you can carve out a little space where you can have just your work stuff and be solely focused on the task at hand, that will help you stay in the zone and in your creative flow and get more done faster. Tip number two is to keep your workspace organized, clutter free, and as much as possible, free of visual distractions. They have actually done quite a few studies that show that an organized workspace actually helps you work more efficiently. It is also proven that if your space is organized and you can easily find what you need, and that includes digitally organized. So if you use a system like Google Drive or Dropbox, if you can keep that organized in folders and clearly labeled, you will spend a lot less time looking for what you need and a lot more time getting things done. Tip number three is to turn off notifications on your phone and on your computer to minimize the urge to constantly check emails or social media or text message, and try to schedule specific times throughout the day to do things like check emails or respond to direct messages on social media or direct respond to comments versus every time you come to a stopping spot. Or I know for me, if I get a little bit caught up on something or have writer's block, it's definitely easy to reach for my phone and to get distracted in the scroll, or if a notification pops up on my phone or on my computer, to go and handle that instead of staying focused on what I am working on at that current moment. So another tip kind of goes along with that is if you move your social media icons, so your Facebook and your Instagram icons, to the second page on your iPhone. So you know how you have to swipe depending on how many apps you have, then you don't see if you have a little 1 or 10 or however many notification dots pop up. So it's easier to prevent yourself from jumping over to the app anytime that you have a moment. Tip number four is to keep your to-do list in eyesight. So if you have your to-do list close by, you can easily reference it throughout your work time to make sure that you are prioritizing those tasks that are at the top of your to-do list, and you can stay on task a little bit easier versus going down that rabbit hole of something that's maybe not on your to-do list. You may even consider making a more detailed to-do list for bigger projects that detail out each step to keep you on track. I know personally, and it has been shown, that sometimes just deciding what to do next can be a distraction or can cost us time. So if we're working on a big project and we write out every single step in that project, or as many steps as we can, or maybe even just the first 10 steps, and can check those off as we go, it will help us to stay on task. And then last but not least, tip number five is to consider using a timer or an app like the Pomodoro timer to help you stay focused and work in certain intervals. So the Pomodoro technique is a time management method based on working in 25-minute stretches. So you have 25 minutes of focused work time followed by a 5-minute break. And then typically you take a little bit longer break, say 15 or 30 minutes, after 4 consecutive rounds of 25 minutes of work and 5 minutes of a break. So, this technique is designed to help you work focus for 25 minutes, but then to give yourself a quick brain break. But if you know those breaks are coming, then you can stay focused during your work intervals versus anytime that your mind starts to wander, you take a break or get distracted or go to a different task. So it helps you to stay focused. So those are my 5 tips for staying on task and minimizing distractions. I hope you found those helpful. And until next time, friends.